On Friday, nearly a year after the 2020 election, Trump again pushed the Georgia Secretary of State to nullify President Biden's win there and called Biden an illegitimate president. We're joined now by CNN political commentator Scott Jennings and CNN chief political analyst Gloria Borger. So, Gloria, former President Trump sent this letter to Brad Raffensperger, the Secretary of State in Georgia, telling him to overturn the election results, while Trump is under criminal investigation, essentially, in Georgia for telling officials to overturn the election results.
Right. I mean, you'll recall he told Raffensperger to just find 11,000 plus votes for him, and that is what is under investigation. It's pathological. It's hard to explain any other way. It certainly is embarrassing, particularly for those Republicans who have not come out and said enough already. This is ridiculous. This is a president, a former president, who cannot admit that he lost. That is what this is all about. He still cannot say that he lost the election. And you know, you talk about the Woodward book, and in the Woodward book, there's lots of stuff in there about Republicans, you know, like Lindsey Graham, looking at the evidence and saying, this is ridiculous. And here you have the former president still writing a letter to Raffensperger. There's just no way to explain it.
Well, I had to actually do a double take on the date of this letter because I thought, oh, certainly this must be an old letter that's just resurfacing right now. But no, the letter was dated September 17th, Scott. It still contains no evidence of what he claims. So is he, you know, continuing to wage this campaign to discredit the election and spread the big lie, and rather than face consequences, it seems he's just consolidating more power within the GOP. What does that say about the party and the country?
Well, I mean, I think you're right that he is still the most powerful Republican. I mean, I've believed all along, really since right after the election, that if he wants to run again, he will be the Republican nominee. He would not have a meaningful challenger. He would have a chance to unseat him, and if he is the Republican nominee, the Republicans would likely lose. Now, that having been said, if you look at the polling right now with Joe Biden falling, I'm sure his advisors are putting polling in front of him, and he can read, and he's saying, look at this, you know, there's no way I'll lose to this guy twice in a row. And so even if, you know, he's not saying that he lost externally. So my suspicion is he is going to run again, and the party's going to have to grapple with going back to the American people and saying, entrust us with this high office again, even though the last time we had it with this very same person, you know, we had a chaotic ending to the administration in which power was frankly abused. And so I think our unwillingness to put forward a candidate in that scenario who would say this was a mistake, we won't let it happen again, is going to make it difficult to recapture the White House. I frankly think there are several other Republicans who could defeat Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or anybody else. I said Trump, as it has been in the past, is probably the least likely person to win in that scenario.
Well, it had been said that before the election in which he won back in 2016, right? But Gloria, you know, Trump is testing his power in other ways as well right now. We're learning the former president's looking for someone to dethrone Mitch McConnell. McConnell has been, you know, hugely effective as a GOP leader. He's been in that position in the Senate for decades now. So what's this really about?
Well, first of all, he doesn't like Mitch McConnell. It's vindictive and it's petty, and he's not going to find Republicans eager to get up and challenge Mitch McConnell. As the Wall Street Journal pointed out, people believe he's been a very good leader. Scott Jennings knows a lot about Mitch McConnell, has been close to him. And I think he says Mitch McConnell said on the floor of the Senate that I provoked the insurrection. Mitch McConnell didn't vote to decertify the election, right? He doesn't like him, and he wants to make trouble for him, and he's supporting candidates to run that Mitch McConnell doesn't want because he thinks they're going to lose, and that would endanger gaining back a majority. So the president is playing games here, and I think given internal Senate politics, he's going to lose this one if he's really serious about it.
Scott, you worked with Mitch McConnell. What do you think he does with this?
Well, you know, he has not engaged with Trump since really December, and he won't talk about him publicly because McConnell's only goal here is to retake Republican control of the Senate and to make sure that he is reflecting the will of his conference. Fighting with Donald Trump publicly does not serve either of those goals. So you're never going to see McConnell take the bait on this. That's number one. Number two, I would remind the former president that virtually all good things that happened during his term of a domestic matter happened because Mitch McConnell prioritized them and got them through the Congress for Donald Trump. Tax cuts, judges, you name it. And number three, McConnell has been an effective politician all these years, not because he's emotional or visceral, but because he listens, whether that's to his constituents in Kentucky or, in this case, to the Republican members of his conference. He does more listening than he does talking, and then he tries to drive as much party unity as he can. Has his strategy worked? Yes. Mitch McConnell has never lost an election in Kentucky, and he's never lost a leadership election inside the Senate Republican Conference. They're not looking for somebody to be bombastic or to tell them what to do or to order them around. They're looking for someone to listen and then to drive party unity. That's what McConnell has been effective at doing, and along the way, block the Democrats' agenda, which, as you know, he's been very effective at. So this is what makes McConnell effective, and although Trump may not like it, this is what his people in the conference want him to do, and that's why they give him high job approval for his job as leader.
And don't forget, McConnell has a political action committee that's been very generous to a lot of Republicans in the Senate because his goal, as Scott points out, is to regain control of the Senate. That is not Donald Trump's goal. Donald Trump's goal is vindication for himself, vengeance against others. That's it. McConnell wants to win for Republicans.
All right, let's see where this fight goes. Thank you, Gloria Borger and Scott Jennings. Good to see you both.